This segment has been sponsored by the Ubuntu Room. Come join Dana Sardano as she offers life-changing advice that will affect the spiritual, emotional, and physical aspects of your being. Within her easily available writings, you will find the solution you need for your problems. Tune in to the Ubuntu Room on the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Hi, my name is Dana Sardano, and this is the Ubuntu Room. I am so glad you're here. Thank you for joining me. You know, I always have a thing that I want to say, but I have to tell you guys something. When I post on social media and I post my reels, if I post anything about decoding the woo woo, I always use the sound by Jeffrey Osborne in the 70s, and the song goes, if you woo woo woo, and you woo woo woo, I can't get it out of my head. So I'm gifting it to you. You're welcome.
Thank you.
With that said, the Ubuntu Room, for those of you who are new to who I am and what I do, in the Ubuntu Room, we talk all things personal empowerment and all things spiritual development. In the last several weeks, we've been focused heavy on the personal empowerment because we've been doing 10 Rex Book Club. And that's all about creating the foundation so we can then become more expansive and tap into our spirituality. Now, starting today, we are talking Decoding the Woo Woo, which is the follow-up to 10 Rex. And now we're going to really dabble in the terms. A lot of the terms and a lot of the concepts and ideas of people when they're on a spiritual journey, like alignment and manifestation and leveling up and all of the terms that I roll my eyes when I say them. But what I want to do is I want to break them down because there's a lot of misconceptions and really just kind of the practicality to make sense of it. So this week, in Decoding the Woo Woo in Book Club, we're going to talk about the first 2 chapters. And just to give you an understanding of how the book is laid out, it's the underlying story of my spiritual awakening and how I made sense of things. And then I decode the woo woo while I'm doing it, decode these words and help make them make sense. So the first 2 chapters, I focus on my creativity and what that looked like. And that is a really important point that I think would be nice that we could have some conversation about, that when we understand that we're all creative beings and whatever it looks like for each of us, because we're like snowflakes, we're all individual, but if we exercise our creativity, it kind of leads us in the direction that's for our best and highest good. Another point that I make in these 2 chapters is our emotional guidance. And it's a reiteration of what I talked about in 10 Recommandments. But when we understand that our emotional guidance is here not to become lost in, but it acts as a guide. And when we understand even further that our passion, our inspiration, our excitement, our joy, the things that elicit those emotions are like pieces of candy, like a trail of breadcrumbs leading us to the path that is fulfilling, that is purposeful, that is for our best and highest good. And when we utilize our emotional guidance to help us understand, oh, this feels yucky, steer clear of that, this feels good and inspirational, and let's go towards that, excuse me, and the ignoring the naysaying and ignoring the critics and ignoring that inner dialogue that keeps us from following that inspiration, then we're on to something. And there was one other point that was brought up in these 2 chapters, and that's the idea of karma. A lot of people throw the word karma around, like he's got bad karma, or karma's a B word, or whatever it is. You know, karma comes from past lives, which is possible. I don't want to get too far into that because it's a little complicated. But the idea of karma is nothing more than a cause and effect relationship. It's an alignment with a frequency. So if I do things and I feel things that elicit certain emotions, elicit a certain frequency, then the consequence is a matched frequency. And so it's a cause and effect. And when we come to realize that about karma and that we have a little bit more control of our karma than we think we do, then again, it's a whole new ball game, and the road to fulfillment is a whole, it looks a lot different. So with that said, thank you for indulging me. Thank you for listening. And as always, Ubuntu, because I have to do that. It's a tick. And I really want to talk about these concepts, emotional guidance, karma, and the other thing that I don't even remember at this point. Thoughts, questions, comments?
Which one do you want to start with?
You know, I do think that that understanding our passion is the key and the road to our purpose. I think that's really, really important. And I just want to know if everybody here understands that, and how does it look in your own life?
Understanding your passion is purpose, Heather? You look like you're getting ready to talk. That's why.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna ask you to say again what you were saying, because I was typing something about karma. So I was like, oh, I'm not able to do too
Tell
much.
me about karma.
Oh, well, I always did have that negative perception on karma, like, yes, karma's a bee, you get what you deserve type mentality.
Yeah.
And honestly, recently, I have switched that mentality, and good karma is good. It is not a bad thing. And karma is like what we put out in the universe. If we put out that positive energy and just like that good frequency, that good vibrational energy, we're going to get that back. And that's kind of the environment that we create. So that's the good karma. It's like we put out good karma, we're going to get good karma.
Yeah. Based on what you're saying, I just want to tweak it a little bit. I feel like karma is neutral.
Mm-hmm.
It's neutral. You say it's good because you're putting good out, right?
Yeah.
But it's a neutral thing. It really is. It's science. It really is cause and effect.
Yeah.
I do this. I trip over that rock. I fall down. That's not karma, but it's cause and effect,
Mm-hmm.
right? So karma is the same way. And again, just to add another layer that I think is important, it's how we feel when we do things. So if I'm doing something and people say, oh, the consequence, but what is my motivation?
Mm-hmm.
What is my intention? How did I feel when I did that? Did I do something because it's a sense of obligation? Because if I did something as a sense of obligation, there's fear connected to that. If you really want to unravel it, there's fear connected to that. So that obligation has a tinge to it. So whatever the steps that surpass that, the immediate one, the one after that, the one after that, is all based on that core of obligation, of fear-based, of whatever I haven't unraveled that I feel like I need to do things based on obligation. So it's about how you feel, what's the intention. If I do something for the love of the game, I do something because it brings me joy, because I feel fulfilled in doing so, then whatever that consequence is going to carry that energy. And that's your karma. So people talk about past life. I don't want to get into that because it's complicated. So never mind. So I'll stop right there. Okay, I'm done.
But you know when people say, oh, karma will come back and get them? People some people think they're doing good and putting out good karma into the world, but yet your perception of it might not be good. So like, oh, they'll get theirs. But they think they're doing something great. They think they're living the high life and they're being kind to all people and they're just doing their thing. So that's kind of where my disconnect is, because there are people that do not so nice things, but yet they think they're entitled to, and they think they're okay, I guess, to do that.
But the energy never lies. So they could think whatever it is they want to think, and Wendy's going to chime in just a second because I know she's got opinions. I got something to say. No, but seriously, I feel it. Like I feel you, because I know we see it the same way. But the energy does not lie. If you say, how you doing? And I say, oh, I'm fine. But energetically, I'm not fine. My mouth sounds don't make a hill of beans. Whatever my energy is what is going to attract or affect the next moves. So Wendy, please.
Or you sense it. It's all, oh my goodness, it's all energy. It's all information. That's what it comes down to. Where is your intent coming from? That action that you did. Some people might say, I did such and such a thing, and one person will say, well, that was a manipulation. Where you're like, no, it's not a manipulation, because I'm diplomatic. I know how to word it in a way where it'll come across. But if you're somebody who really doesn't care, you're just going to spew it out. But then the consequence of that is the other person going to pick it up from that intent? Are they going to pick up your yucky? Are they going to pick up that you're coming from heart space or something like that? So you're right. Energy never lies.
Well, there are people that you can ask them, how you doing? This has happened to me recently. And people are going through a real rough time, and they think that I'm trying to get them to tell me that they're suffering, or that they're weaker, or that this, or their fear, or whatever. I'm fine. Why do you ask?
That's the defense. That's on their side.
That's on their side.
Yeah.
And I had no ill intent. I was just asking, how you doing?
No, you were coming at your energy, but just because you came and that was your intent doesn't mean it's always going to be received. Oh, let's break bread.
That's why we have Chrysocola.
So it's
decode that.
again, it's
Well, that's
it's
okay.
picking up the
That's the rock.
signature.
I
Yeah.
like to throw the rock.
Yeah.
So
You know-
when they come back at you with that, then you just meet them there. It's information. They're giving you information, and how do you move through with that piece of information? Do you get angry and you know, or you're like, oh, okay, I can see that they're going through something. Oh, no, it's just checking on you, and you can leave it right there, and it doesn't affect
but
you.
It's interesting that you brought up the way you started the segment, because when I used to coach and a kid would strike out and come back to the dugout, I used to tap him in the back of the leg and pat that back of the knee and tell him we're going to next time. And the look sometimes was like, what are you talking about? I just struck out. But it was the look. It's the transfer of karma. It's the energy that you're giving. It's the
Yes.
positivity. Even though the other side is negative on themselves or other things and what have you, you just got to wipe it off. But do you know how many people take it personally because they say karma is the bee?
Yeah, but that's not your problem.
That's not
Eh,
your bag.
But that's
Every-
what's taught.
Okay, so I'm teaching something else. So everything, I even wrote a book about it, and a workbook.
No,
shameless
I
plug.
get it. But take the word hate.
Yeah.
How much hate is taught in the world to be proper karma?
Oh yeah, listen, we are here to reverse all of that. It's a slow and steady shifting of momentum, and that's why we're all sweating, rolling up our sleeves, right? And we're tired and we're exhausted. Many of us who are reversing the train of this momentum of energy, and now we're pushing it this way. But all of this hate, all of this fear, the power structure, all of that has been for millennia, it's over. It's over, Johnny. It's over.
How do you know you have a problem until you see it?
It's got to be in the light, right? That's why, as everything is, now we're getting out there, but as the world around us, as the systems that are in place are crumbling, and everybody's like, oh my God, everything is so corrupt all of a sudden. No, it's not. It's always been corrupt. We can see it now. And now that we can see it, we can do something about it, right? I shall not refute the truth or deny the solution of the truth. Now that we're willing to look at it collectively, now we could do something about it. So this idea that karma is a B word, that karma is a bad thing, it's because that's the mentality. So we're shifting the mentality. Karma is a consequence of a vibration, of a frequency. And if we could all be very aware individually of what our frequency is, what our intention is, what our emotion is that is attached to things, and understand that whatever that is, the consequence of that is going to match that, and everybody does that, then the shift of the momentum and the push of that train in the opposite direction is going to go a lot quicker and a lot easier.
1000%.
And what do you do with the ones that don't?
That's
That's
our
not my
issue.
problem.
They
If
sift
you're
themselves out.
associated to the ones that don't, what are you supposed to do? Just ignore them?
You
You're gonna
know-
move on?
There's if I may.
No, please.
There's somebody to speak to an audience at any given time.
Yes.
Dana, what she's got to say, she's going to reach a certain crowd. You're going to reach a certain crowd. We all have the apparatus and the words and the dictionary, and this is why this is important, to be able to say it in a way where, oh, I see what so-and-so is saying. This is what I use, and this is where my mentality is, just like you invited the conversation. If we're here and we acknowledge that I'm giving a kind word, and that's going to help buffer that this kid is going to look back and say, oh, somebody just still believed in me or believes in me, I can continue up. Where you said, you know, you really suck. Now this kid is going to go away feeling awful.
Yeah.
You just set this kid up for success
Yeah.
in minute, small ways without even thinking about it. If we could just do that one thing, the power of words that we were talking
But
about
are you
Monday.
able to have a conversation with somebody who tells you right to your face, you don't know what you're talking about, you're full of this, you're full of that, blah, 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 blah.
I
and just
cannot.
Every day!
I cannot.
Every day!
Yes. I couldn't before.
And constantly belittling what you say, and then gets down and dirty because they know that it's not having an effect on you because
So-
you believe in what you believe in. And the next thing you know, you got into a confrontation with somebody you never intended to have a confrontation with.
You walk away before it even
But
gets
do
to that
you?
point. Yes.
I'm
Yes.
learning
This
to.
Listen,
You walk away?
listen, there comes a time when you say, you know what, I'd love to have this conversation, but
You
we're
walk away
both not.
too?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
ahead,
I was
go
just
ahead.
gonna say, like, why am I gonna surround myself with people who feel that way about me, or gonna make those comments about me? It's just not filling my cup. It's not serving
It's not
anything
helpful.
in my
Yeah.
life.
No, I hear the reason.
But yeah,
You-
exactly.
You walk away
I
too,
have
Evan?
walked away.
Would you walk away with somebody confronting you? like that. Boom, boom, boom.
But in all due respect, you're a different personality.
But
You're the bus driver.
No,
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't do that.
You don't let people off the bus.
I'm not going to walk away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have
You will
never
try-
walked
you will
away. I'm
try
going to
to save
stand
the
there and take the
relationship.
blows. It's
So
okay.
listen, you can still do that, but still hold your space and decide when is enough. You
Yeah.
can sit there and do the whole thing.
When
Nobody's
is enough?
Or like you can just you express your concerns, you have that conversation with them, and if they're still not listening or comprehending it,
Yeah.
then
That's
it's
not for
time
you.
to walk
Yeah.
away. You said what needed to be said, and that's done.
Freddie, I got to tell you, in this room, I'm probably the most similar to you. And I'm Jersey, I'm I'm Italian. Like, I'll flip a table, you look at me crooked 30 years ago, you know? So I can relate. I can totally relate. Like, I catch myself in these arguments and I'm like, what am I doing? And I have to remind myself, it is not my job, excuse me, little frog, it's not my job to prove myself, to prove what I believe to anybody. I will share anything I have, from my stuff to my time to my understandings of things.
Yep.
But if you're not picking up what I'm putting down, and on top of it, if you are being aggressive, accusatory, and nasty, disrespectful in any way, that's it. And just to to go a step further, a couple months ago, you asked me if I would connect with somebody that you thought could benefit from my assistance. And I attempted to do that, and I got the block. And then it was fine. And then some time went by, and you mentioned it again, and I didn't even bother. Why? Because if you're not, again, a readiness. If you're not ready, if you can't even understand my mouth sounds or align with my energy or any of that, I can't. You have to get yourself to a place of readiness, because I can't dilute what I'm doing, what I'm saying. I can meet you where you are if you're close enough, but I can't go over the river through the woods to get to you. You've got to make the trek, get to where I am, and then it's all for you.
1000%.
It's all for you. So if somebody is not picking up what you're putting down, then they no longer, if the dissonance is so great that it's uncomfortable in some way, that they are no longer invited, welcome in your sphere. Because the moment you start letting go of those that you have to beg to be there, the unicorns, and we'll talk about this in upcoming chapters, the unicorns will start to fall from the sky. People who you're more aligned with, people who are actually at a frequency maybe even a little higher than yours. And that's how we, I hate this term, level up.
May I add a little something to that?
More unicorns.
When do we make dinner from what we threw in the trash yesterday, scraps?
Oh.
I do sometimes.
You know,
if I'm
sometimes-
desperate, I gotta get a little bit left of that onion. I forgot I didn't have onions.
I gotta tell you something. Sometimes before you throw it in the trash, that scrap can feed somebody.
Right,
And
I
I think
agree.
that
But once it's in the trash, and it was there
Well,
since yesterday.
it's never in the trash. That's a perception. See, the bottom line here is that the greatness of being taught, if it's not spread on those who don't believe, then what are you doing?
So-
It's there for them.
No, it isn't there for them. They don't see that.
So-
They don't understand that. People of hate don't understand that they are hating. People of hate are just angry and fearful. And your job, not your job, if you choose to want to do it, is to educate.
Yeah.
And you have to sometimes, you got to stand in the thunderstorm, in the wind, for all that to blow over, and they will come forward. Everybody in my life who's ever been negative has come forward. And they've tried the other side. But man, did I have to go through wars to get them there.
Yeah, but we have chosen, 'cause
Okay.
we've gone through the
That's
wars,
fine.
we have chosen not to battle anymore. Years, we both, right? Years, we battle and pull and beg and pushing people up a hill, dragging them, oh, well, let me get your backpack. And
No, you're not going to do the work for them. You're just going to be there for them.
right,
we're there
that's
for them
different.
now.
And they're always going to come back.
we're there for
Because
them now.
reason-
You hold
always.
the space. That's it. You
That's
hold
it.
the
There's
space.
nothing more you can do. You're not going to be them. You're not going to work for them. You know, you're not going to get spit in the face and then say, come on,
Yeah.
let's work together.
No.
Or do you?
No.
Or do you?
I know.
Listen, you've
But
got
have
to.
we?
We have. That's because
We
you're the
have as
bus
well.
driver.
Yeah.
But it happens. And sometimes people do things and they don't realize what they've done. They spit in my face. She's seen it. Right in the middle of Atlantic Avenue, true? And then you know what I did? I said, come on, let's work together. And did we?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that sometimes you got to put your shield down
Yes.
Your sword,
Yeah, but
your
for
shield.
how long?
Oh, okay. That's a magical question. How
Yes.
long does it take?
Yes.
But how long does it take?
But how long are you going to continue to sacrifice you and
No,
your
no, no,
well-being
no. Don't
for
go
others?
there. Don't do it that way. Don't
Why?
paint it that way because I'm not sacrificing me. I'm using what you're teaching. What you're teaching
Yeah.
is my shield. And I'm going to defend myself with that.
You're welcome.
With your book.
Yeah.
With what the stories you tell me. All of it. But it's their fear that I'm fighting.
Yeah.
So I can't walk away from that.
Well, so
Because
listen.
then that's what life does.
So then that's your role. And that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Not all of us are meant to do
Yeah.
that
Okay.
role.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful
But karma
thing.
is a big part of it because if you wish good on somebody and they wish bad on you,
Yeah.
who wins? Remember the story on Monday I said to you, sometimes one thing defeats the other? Well, who wins?
Well, I win. But one thing that I learned just based on this conversation, and I learned it, and then I learned it again, and then I fell down, and then I learned it again, is, to give is great, but never at your peril. So if somebody is fearful and somebody is resistant, like I had a feral kitty that I had to, if somebody is resistant, I'm willing to put forth the effort.
Right.
But once I start to feel, remember, it's all about the emotion, it's all about the frequency. Once I start to feel more discomfort than, I don't say gain, but desire to give, to help, then it's at my peril. And once it's at my peril, it's time for me to step back. So if people are coming at you with fear, spitting in your face, whatever it is, metaphorically, I hope, whatever it is.
No, it wasn't. It was physical. It was true.
Hey, listen, I know a guy, so you let me know.
No.
But if it ever
But it
comes
doesn't matter.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm joking. But if it ever comes to that, and you can handle it, there's sometimes I can handle it. I have the bandwidth. There's sometimes I'm vulnerable and I don't have the bandwidth. It's never about that. It's about where am I and what can I handle, and is this at my peril? Do I have it to give? Is my oxygen mask on nice and tight? And then I give. So I think the situation is different. I think the circumstance, the people are different, but I am no longer giving 90% when somebody else is giving 10.
I want to add a little bit piggyback to what you're saying. When I worked in the pharmacy, and there's many stories there, but the one story that sticks in my mind, there's one man, New Yorker, Mr. Neufeld. He's probably passed by now. And that man was the grumpiest thing you've ever seen. And every time he came to the pharmacy, he had a hat just like yours, or if not, he wouldn't have it at all. But I never saw him with the wife. Never got into it because we never were chummy like that. Eventually, after a couple of times of dealing with him, he would ask for me. And he actually smiled. And I got pulled to the side by the crew. How did you get that man to smile? And how did you get him to be nice? And why is he asking for you? Because I could see his pain. And I knew that it was worth to extend my kindness because it didn't look like he had any. And that's what brought that man out. And for years, until I finally left that pharmacy, that man always asked for me and always had a smile for me. I actually got Christmas cards from him a couple of times, wishing you all the best. That man did not extend the aisle for anybody else because nobody had grace for him.
Grace, yeah.
So it's goes to what you're saying. There is a time for me, I will definitely, and sometimes to my peril,
Yeah.
give. But I've had to know where I have that tendency of over giving and oversharing.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between overgiving, oversharing, and overdoing.
Yeah.
I had a cousin, her name was Tata, and we were growing up, and Tata was a heavy drug abuser, and she died of AIDS. And when Tata was in her dying bed, she told her mother, Lucy, to ask Freddie to come see me. And I was shocked, and I went with my brother, and my brother says, you have to go in and talk to Tata. And she's in a bread, she's in AIDS, she's covered in whatever, warts. And it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. A human being dying was melting away.
Wow.
So I went over to her and I hugged her. And she said, no, don't touch me. I said, why? She says, I'll get you sick. I said, Tata, you never ever had anybody hug you when you were going through this. I'm going to give it to you now. And ever since then, I don't walk away from anybody's fear. It isn't about giving. It's not about that. It's about taking. Because if you can take what somebody's giving you and you can stand, then you know what you know. because you're not afraid of anybody moving you.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to say, I need 10, 20. I don't want none of that.
Yeah.
Just give me a crack, because you can see the gleam. You look at somebody's eyes and they're going to give you a gleam that I believe I just ain't there yet. Or I'm afraid to be there.
1000%.
And I'm going to turn my
Yeah.
back on you a number of times.
Yeah.
That's okay. You know, because God says if you don't bleed because somebody uses words on you, you're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you die?
You know, Freddie, yeah. I believe in that respect we are all speaking the same language. Wendy, in my response, has a lot to do with the people that don't want to, they just want you to do it for them. That's really
Or
what we're
trauma
talking
dump.
about. Yeah, they just want to complain, or they just want to sap your energy, but they don't want to do the work. That's what we're talking about. What you're saying, remember, I was in education for a lot of years, and you could see the kids didn't do their homework, the kids resisted, the kids didn't want, but I could always see that there was something there, and I was always willing to be there for them. But I think even though we're talking about the same thing, I think we're talking about another offshoot of that. You know what I mean? But I agree with you. And
But karma begins with karma. If you deliver positive karma, you deliver negative karma. Some people will say the same thing to you, where it'll be out of line. And they'll say it in public, or they'll say it so that it disturbs you. But they're saying it for a reason, because they feel that it's okay to say.
yeah, but hurt people hurt people.
And they hurt, people do hurt people.
Yeah.
So you sit there and you go, okay, I got a choice. Because we all have choice. You can either say, you know what, bomb you, or, okay, what else you got?
Yeah.
Because I look around and that's not going to make me break.
Yeah.
May break them. Or you tell somebody the truth and they can't handle the truth.
I shall never.
So what level of the truth? Do you tell them this much?
Yeah.
Do you tell them this much? Or do you hit them with one of them stones you're walking around with?
And that's why intuition is important, discernment is important, because there are clients that I can only give them this much, and Spirit's like, that's all you can say. But then there's other people that lay it on me. And an hour and a half later, they're like, all right, I got it. Let me sit with this for a little bit. So they run a gamut. And another little side story, another pharmacy one, and then I'll digress. I had a lady that, talk about the difference of personality, had a woman, 3 kids, all of them with asthma. Goes to the drive-thru to pick up all of their albuterols, all of the asthma medicines, and I'm talking about boxes of medicine, each one. And the woman is sitting in her van with all 3 kids, windows closed, smoking a cigarette. She's going to tell me off because now the insurance doesn't want to pay for all of these things. And she starts insulting me and calling me every word under the sun. And I'm sitting here saying, look at you, look at what you're putting out. And not only that, it's one thing for you, but you're making these 3 kids suffer.
So what'd you say to her?
I passed it to the pharmacist because I had no words. I'm like, this woman's insulting me. Clearly, the situation I don't have a remedy for. And you're talking about this is like 20-something years ago. So, yeah. You know, run a gamut. Run a gamut.
You're just a little different than the average capybara.
Because I've seen strange things. I got a pharmacy story.
All right, hold it. We're going to take a commercial break. More to come before they digress into pharmacy stories. More to come with Decoding the Woo Woo, Intern Corner, and let us know your thoughts. 888-994-4995, the Studio A, Decoding the Woo Woo Woo. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the
Back. Wow, Mr. the Commish.
How you like
the
that?
Voiceover.
Very nice. National
Woo!
Zoo Day.
That's the first.
Very
I like
cool.
that. Very good.
Everyone's doing their thing, working hard.
It's the summer. It's time to sizzle.
You know, I was telling you yesterday, we have a relatively new intern. She's been with us for a little while, and she's very quiet and to herself. And I was like, does she feel like she doesn't want to be here? I'm not really sure what it is.
Oh, yeah.
She disappeared for like a month, and I was getting ready to take her off to chat. And I've learned, it's like never say never. It's like never underestimate anyone, because you just never know. And you and I went in, we spoke to her about what we felt was really part of the program. We didn't get anything. We didn't get an answer. We kind of got a look, nothing. But since that point,
Just turn it around.
she has like done a 180.
Wow, that's awesome.
She's engaged. I said she smiles. That's like when I worked with my special ed kids back in the day, and they would write their name like, oh my God! like the little things would make me happy. She smiles. She's working really hard, and she's really, really good at what she does.
Nice.
And I think it was just having that conversation about, I don't even want to say the word expectations because it makes it sound like we're the boss and they're not, even though we pay the bills. Kind of just what we like to happen in this studio more than expectations, because everyone's level is different. And she rose to the occasion, and she's really good. And I'm like, wow. There's another one, not to save, but there's another one who I think feels they have a place.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I thought it was really nice.
Absolutely.
So that's not even bad
You said
karma.
positive karma.
That's not bad karma, good karma. There was no malice meant from the other side. It was
an
just the way
observation.
she is, or her circumstances. But there was never any malice or any negative karma on that. It was just things that we wanted to hopefully make better for her, for us.
When Commissioner came in, he had a tie in a jacket. And he went to the back, and I says, I'm sorry, you with the FBI, or do I owe you money? And he says, no. I says, can you take off your tie and jacket? Remember that?
But there are people that have manipulative intent,
Yeah, of course. But
and
that's
they
okay.
will try. For you it is. I don't do that very well.
The ocean has all sorts of fish. There's sharks, just like there's octopus.
What I don't understand, the people of the manipulative intent. How when you say you don't do it well, what would help
I
me
will walk
understand?
It
away.
bothers her.
I will walk away after a certain point. I will give X amount of chances depending of my mood, how many chances. And if they continue to try to belittle me or to squirrel it with him on the other side or to try and break the unity that I know happens in the studio, then I'm pretty much done.
Kindness matters. What did you learn?
That just goes back to the conversation we were having earlier.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you just
But he will continue it and continue it until they prove themselves.
1 and 1 is 2.
yeah, but
2 and 2 is 4.
That's not what she's talking about.
But think about it. It is, because in kindness matters, they taught you flight, you fight, or you freeze.
Yes.
So,
But-
and each one had a consequence to that.
But each one of us has a different level of where we are in peace, right? Where we are in our own foundation. And so whatever it is that's coming at us, Dawn's like, okay, I'm here, and this is where I check out. Maybe you have a little bit more tolerance.
But let me ask you a
threshold.
question. See, you check out, you run. And then you
It's
come.
not running.
No,
Hold on, you check out, whatever you want to call it, you check out. You're no longer
You,
part
des-
of it.
you
Okay.
decide you're not going
You're
to
not going to
engage.
Okay, so you're not going to engage. You're not going to engage, whatever that means. You're not going to engage. So how does that change when you constantly bring it up? Like it still bothers you. When you constantly let it manipulate your thinking, when you constantly come back to it over and over again, that's not change.
Yeah, 100%.
Story.
No, you're,
Huh?
To it.
But that's not change.
no, you're
All
right.
that is griping about something that undermined you. You
You're
know
right.
those 2 balls you were showing me? Not whatever, those 2.
They weren't balls, but
You know
if
what I
wanna
mean, the
get that-
energies. I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
not balls. Energies. And you were showing me?
Yeah.
Well, you can't let a snowball hit you in the face. And, you know, it's like Rocky said, it ain't about the punch you throw, it's about the punch you take.
Yeah.
And can you get up?
Yeah.
So you take it. It
Yeah.
ain't going to kill you.
Yeah, you make a really good point, Freddie. And without saying too much, my 15-year-old is going through something right now, and what I'm seeing with her is her resistance to be in a discomfort and to figure out how to be more comfortable in the discomfort. So there's the work involved in that. And I'm working with her, trying to get her to stop, again, numbing, avoiding, freezing, flying, doing all the things, and to be in it, because then it hurts a little bit less and it's a little bit less uncomfortable. So you make a really good point. If you choose to disengage because this doesn't work for you, it's one thing. But if you choose to disengage and carry a gripe,
You're in
then
trouble.
then you're in trouble because you didn't learn from it. You didn't. If you choose to, hey, I don't dabble in that. Then that's that. But if I don't dabble in that, but I'm still going to carry it, then again, you are the point of the point of reference, the nucleus. You have to work through that. Sometimes being involved in the discrepancy is what helps you get through it. But if you can disengage and handle it yourself, great. But you can't leave out that part of handling it.
I've
yourself.
seen it take a pound of life of people because, okay, you disengage. You're not going to be, but it takes a pound of life out of them because they can't rebound over it. They
Yeah.
can't get over it.
They constantly mired it.
Of course, because it bothered them. You know, it's an old saying, if you can hold the fort, keep it there, and then little by little diminish it, you'll overcome.
Your mindset's just different than other people.
Watch me work, baby. Is it what I've been
but
telling you?
you are a good representation.
We all
Of
are.
the of
we
the
just have to
anomaly.
choose
He
it.
is the anomaly.
Yeah.
No,
But
no,
there
don't
are
say
people
that.
like
No, but
you.
I see it like you. I get it.
I see strength in this room right now with people who will tell you different. But I've
Exactly.
seen different. I've seen it. I've seen how they'll stand up when it's time to stand up.
Yep.
And then they'll go back to being quiet. Because quiet don't make you run, doesn't make you weak.
No.
It just makes you quiet.
Exactly.
You know, they make fun of me because I changed chairs. But they've never asked me why. That's the bottom line. Ask.
I did.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I've asked.
You have. You have. And now that you've opened up Pandora's box,
We're
you're
going
one
to
of the
talk
few.
about the amplified.
Well, you're one of the few people that I gotta say, watch me work. That song is built about you. That's the bottom line here. If you want to open a Pandora's box,
All right,
be
so before
careful.
we get to that, Dana, how do people get the book? We're getting there.
And you should get this book.
This is a good one. This is Wendy's favorite of the three. So Wendy's got the endorsement, right?
Yes.
So you
Two
can go
thumbs
to
up.
UbuntuFishGallery.com, UBUNTU, fishgallery.com. And I just finished, as per Wendy's request. A couple weeks ago, she's like, you have a journal for 10 Rex. These are the proof copies. That's why they have the line on them. Journal for 10 Rex, but you don't have one for Decoding the Woo Woo. So I'm like, and here we are, and it really helps you get your thoughts together.
Yep.
And I just published it. Like I said, this is the proof copy with all my comments in it. So, UbuntuFishGallery.com, and anything else that you want to get that I've created.
That's good also for parents, yes? For parents with kids and things that are
I
going
think
through.
so. I think, again, Veda, I've got a whole, again, I will call it a curriculum. I've got a whole curriculum. If you, from all levels, all ages, all perspectives as far
All
as from
entry
your,
points.
all entry points. Thank you. And yeah, I'm just here to assist others in their growth. I'm not here to pull you. I'm not here to force you. Wherever your readiness is, I've got a place for you to start. UbuntuFishGallery.com.
All right, check it out. More to come next week with Ubuntu Fish Gallery and Decoding the Woo Woo. So get your book, get your audiobook, join our conversation next week. And now we're going to continue your conversation with Heather.
Pandora's
Let's roll
box.
the intern
Pandora's
corner
box.
and see what's going on the other
That's
side.
what she did.